Have you ever had someone become a massive part of your life for a period of time? You talk constantly, you care about each other, you flirt, you even meet up. And then one day they completely disappear as if you never existed. This was not just a completely random hookup. I'd been speaking to this guy for a while. Me and this guy talked quite regularly. I worked with this guy and I trusted this guy. I think what confused me the most wasn't even the blocking. It's how normal things felt before it happened. Welcome to another episode of Gay Talk. Welcome to Gay Talk. Yes! So, about a year and a half ago, I was working for a coach company. My main responsibility was coach driving, but there was other aspects of my job which meant I had to be in the office for most of my time. Drivers would often come up to my city, drop their passengers off at the bus station, and then make way to the depot where I was to have their breaks. They'd come into the office, get to know you, have some banter with you, have their dinner, and then go again. So, seeing new faces all the time was something that was quite familiar to me. So, I remember being sat in the office this particular day and I was bored. I'd completed all my tasks and I was just hoping for something to happen or hoping for a driver to come in and keep me company. And as I'm thinking that, my phone goes off. I get a WhatsApp notification from a driver that's currently en route to my city. Now, as drivers, we always have banter to and from each other, and it's fantastic. It's what makes the day fly by. And I remember he had sent me a message saying, "You're no longer the only gay in the company. I'm training a new staff member up on the route up to your city today." And immediately I'm thinking, "Oh my god, is this guy gonna be nice? Are we gonna get along? Oh my god, he might be someone that I could pursue later on if he's really good," and all that stuff. I don't know why my mind goes there. I'm just being honest to how I felt. So anyway, after about 2 hours, their bus pulls into the depot. Now, I don't know why I'm expecting them to come straight off the bus, come inside, heat up their food, sit down at a table, have their food, get the banter and all that stuff. Because for the first 30 minutes, that didn't happen. They both stayed out on their bus, had their dinner on the bus, and after they had their dinner on the bus, about 35 minutes after arriving at the depot, the other gay guy came dondering over and came in to introduce himself to me. This guy was very confident, very well spoken, smelt nice, was well dressed, and I just thought, damn, thumbs up. But in my head, I'm thinking, this guy's not my type. Like, I was expecting someone to come up that you could flirt with, get to know, add each other on Snapchat, and all that stuff. And for me, this guy just wasn't my type. So I remember being a bit disappointed, but at the same time, I wanted to get to know this guy and become friends with him like I do with all my other work colleagues. So, anyway, he grabs a seat and he comes to sit beside me in the office. We start having casual conversations. Like I said, this guy was very, very confident and very well spoken. He wasn't scared to speak what was on his mind. So he came across, we're having casual conversations, and he slips and says, "You're kind of cute, you know." At that point, I'm blushing. I'm like, "Oh, that's so nice of you." But again, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, "Well, you're not really my type, so I don't want to be going down that road with you." But I wanted to hear the guy out. So as the conversation's progressing, we're getting to know each other on that sort of different level. We're both becoming quite confident around each other. I'm not being shy to ask him things. He's not being shy to ask me things. And I guess the conversation kind of brought us close together. So we've had an absolute amazing conversation. Their break is coming to an end, and this guy decides he wants to stay in contact with me and talk later on. So we exchange Snapchats and they go off on their way back down to their depot. As soon as they're away and they're heading down to their own depot, I remember getting loads of Snapchats that night from this guy. Snapchats putting down at his leg saying, "Oh, you're so adorable, you're so cute, great conversations we had tonight, couldn't stop looking at you." All these different things coming through. And I just felt like, damn, this guy's not my type. But the more he speaks, the more I'm kind of getting interested in him. And I remember him saying we should definitely arrange a meet. Obviously, he's going to be coming back up so many times as he's been route learned on this route, which means he'll start coming up alone and all that good stuff. So he definitely wants a meetup to happen. So anyway, for the next sort of week, we're still chatting on Snapchat very frequently, and he lets me know that he's coming up to my city the next day. And he's asking if I'll be around so I can meet him and all that stuff at the depot. And fortunately enough, I was working that day. So I started getting a bit nervous. I know he's coming up. I know that he wants to talk more. And I don't know why I had the gut feeling that something might happen here, but I did. So, anyway, the next day rolls around, and I know that this guy's coming up to my city today. I know that we're meeting, and I guess I'm a bit nervous as we were getting to know each other on that other level. And like I said, I had a gut feeling that something was going to happen today. I just didn't know what was going to happen today. So I remember the nerves being like up there and my heart's just beating like this. And like I said, the guy wasn't my type, but the more that he spoke to me, the more I was drawn to him, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm nervous at this point. So anyway, he arrives at my city, he walks on into the office, and I instantly think, where is his lunchbox? Because last time he was up with his mentor, he had a lunchbox with him and came in, sat down at that. But this time he didn't have a lunchbox. I thought, could be out on the coach. It wasn't. So he comes into the office and he flirts with me for a bit and he gives me a love tap. And instantly I'm like, oh my God, like blushing super fast. Like, damn, this guy actually likes me. And I'm feeling my heart's going like that. I'm feeling like, damn, I'm getting closer and closer to this guy. We're going from him not being my type to me being drawn to him and feeling full around him. And he passes a remark of, oh, I've accidentally forgot my lunch this morning. Do you want to go to McDonald's? And I'm like, uh, sure. Am I driving us to McDonald's? I'm guessing. He's like, yep. So we get ready to go and drive to McDonald's. Now, at this point, I'm not daft. I know that something's probably going to happen during the drive to McDonald's, but at this point, I'm now in the mood after that love tap, and I don't care if something happens. I'm just living in the moment, right? So we jump on into my car and we leave the depot and we start heading to McDonald's. Now, at this point, we're in our own time. We're both not on the clock. It is what it is, right? So we start driving, and as we're driving, my hand is on the gear stick in the car. He grabs my hand off the gear stick and places it on his leg. At that point, I ain't lying to you. I am fully in the mood. He's put me in that mood as I'm driving my car to McDonald's. How cruel is that? Genuinely, how cruel is that? He's got about an hour and 30 minutes while he's up in my city, and we've got about a 10-minute drive to McDonald's, and I'm in the mood at that point, like I've said. So, anyway, as we're driving to McDonald's and I'm in that mood, and my hand is now on his leg, we're just talking about genuine things. The vibe is unreal. We're getting along so well with each other, and it's so romantic. I feel in this moment in time so loved, and even if it was a hookup that was going to come of it, I just knew that this was a feeling that I hadn't had in a long time, and I was going to live in the moment and just do things that young people do. Do you know what I mean? Young people have a drive that's up here, man. It's up there, and sometimes you've got to satisfy that urge, okay? But who am I kidding? We're in a car. It's unlikely that anything of that nature is going to happen. So we go to McDonald's, we pick up his order. I couldn't eat because, like I said, I was in that mood. And when I'm in that mood, I can't eat. So we picked up his McDonald's order, and he puts it down at his feet. And then we start driving back to the yard. Now, obviously, there's nothing you could do in a car, blah, 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 blah. Not going into details. If you want details of stories, go across to Patreon, link will be in bio. But anyway, we're heading back to the yard, and the only romantic thing that we could do in that situation was pull over, talk to each other, make a little bit of eye contact, which we did, and that eye contact ended up leading to a kiss, a romantic kiss. So that happened, and after that, we headed back to the yard as it was nearly time for him to head back to his depot. And yes, I was fuming because I was in the mood and then I had been abandoned. But again, your job's got to come first. And when your break's done, your break's done. There's always next time, which there was actually a next time. And that next time was literally 1 week later. Now, for that week that we didn't see each other, we were still messaging each other on Snapchat, checking in with each other, making sure each other were okay, and still just genuinely flirting with one another. So, a week later, he ended up back in my city. This time, he Snapchatted me. He says, "Can you come and pick me up from this location and we'll go and do something for my break?" And I thought to myself, The last meet we had was fantastic. The vibe was great. The conversations were great, and I felt loved. Do you know what? I'd be stupid if I turned this down. So, yeah, I'll come pick you up. And yeah, we'll go and do something for your break. So, I set off. I picked him up. And when he got in the car, again, hand off the gear stick onto his leg. And he says, let's go and drive somewhere out in the countryside, somewhere romantic, and we'll continue the conversation we had last week. So immediately I drive. He's kind of giving me directions to quiet places. We end up at a lovely romantic place. Again, we're making that eye contact, kissing happens, and then the whole mood changes. We get intimate. It was fantastic, great experience, and we were kind of on that level with each other now. I felt loved. I genuinely felt like we would have became something. Like we were meeting each other, we were talking, we were like a couple. We were like a genuine couple. It felt like we were just getting to know each other in these two early stages, and we were talking all the time on Snapchat, and it felt like one day he was going to ask me out. So again, after that meet had happened, we stayed in touch on Snapchat, but we hadn't really met again after that because I was in the middle of switching jobs. I did keep this guy fully informed on my decisions and said to him that I would still be interested in meeting him and all that stuff. I didn't want us to not talk on Snapchat or not meet up again just because I was moving to a new career, but I don't think that worked. So we continued talking for about another 2 weeks consistently, and then communication started breaking down. At that point, I had moved to a new job and I was actively messaging him now and then, just checking up on him, as I was in a bit of a routine messaging him, asking how he was and all that stuff. And I remember when I'd settled into my new job, I'd gone to try and look for him on Snapchat to ask him how he was one day, and he was gone. So then I thought to myself, all right, he might have deleted Snapchat, whatever. Let me go and try and message him on Facebook because I had him on Facebook as well at this point. And I was blocked on Facebook. And I was left thinking to myself, what have I done this time? It's not the first experience I've had with guys where you get to know them and then when you leave or you move on to another profession, they just block you and forget you existed. I think it's just a toxic part of the hookup or gay dating scene. I think I was more upset at the way things had ended. I was left doubting myself. Did I cause him to stop speaking to me? Did I do something wrong? Was I not good enough during the meetups? What did I do that made him want to just block me without saying a single word? Like I said at the start of the video, this guy was not my type right from the start, but instead of always going by looks, I wanted to give this guy a chance. The chats we had were amazing, the vibes I had around him were great, his confidence, him being well spoken, his personal hygiene, everything just came together and I thought, give this one a chance. And it just shows that it didn't work. I guess we both should have been clear from the start whether or not it was going to be hookups we were having, if we're going to try and get to know each other on a different level, but none of us had communicated that. So in my head, it genuinely felt like he was trying to get to know me, he was being romantic and all that. And in reality, it was probably just hookups. So lack of communication there as well from both of us, I feel led me to be emotional and judging myself quite badly at the end, thinking that I had done stuff wrong to be blocked in the first place. When in reality, he's probably just thought, we're probably never going to meet again. You no longer work with the company that I work for. So what's the chances? Probably slim. Block. I don't really know what changed apart from me getting a new job, as I made it clear to him that I was willing to still meet. Maybe to him it was casual, but to me it felt a bit more personal than that. But sometimes people leave your life without an argument, without closure, and without explanation. Have any of you guys experienced anything similar to this story? Have you got to know someone and you felt it was genuine and then you've been left ghosted or blocked? I would genuinely love to hear all your stories in the comment section below, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe also. And if you've made it to this end of the video, guys, then I will be doing a giveaway of one unfiltered story. All you have to do is make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below that you have subscribed, and I will get a copy of an unfiltered story across to you in due course. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and until next time, I will see you in the next one.